Hello everyone, welcome to Hearthstone Meta Hype. I'm Eco100 with my friend Venga Dragon. How's it going, Venga?
Oh man, it is going well, and we are going to talk about the new expansion and why we're excited about it. Let's go.
Yeah, so this expansion is something that I am looking forward to more than most of the other expansions because it reminds me of probably one of my favorite expansions of all time, Knights of the Frozen Throne. It just has a lot of similarities. It has new hero cards. It's bringing back a lot of control. It's bringing back, trying to bring back Freeze Shaman. And there are just a lot of things about it that make it similar to Knights of the Frozen Throne, which is actually the expansion that I started making content for YouTube in. It was when I was like, you know what, I really like this game. And yeah, this is when I first started taking Hearthstone seriously. I liked it so much. So even if it's like half as good as Frozen Throne, which it looks like it's going to be more than half as good, I'm actually really excited about most of these cards. I think that this is going to be a very, very fun expansion. So what are your thoughts about it?
Well, firstly, I got to say I saw like a tweet from Ecor, and he's like, I'm 100% excited about Frozen Thrones, and if it's 50% as good as if this expansion is 50% as good as Frozen Throne, I'm 80% more excited about this expansion than I am of the others. So he's really excited about this one. So that's my thoughts. It's good to see Ecor excited about the expansion and myself. The reason why I'm excited about it is for pretty much the same reasons that you are. And that is because this expansion is a lot like Frozen Throne. And I started right around that time as well too. Lich King was my favorite. I love the hero cards, especially the Paladin ones. You could never pull up those combos. But one of the cool things about this one is that I think the hero cards are like a little bit more like functional. Like they're not necessarily, and believe it or not, somewhat. Some of them are less combo based. There are some ones that are pretty combo based, but there are some that are not. You know, like the Hunter one doesn't necessarily like make an OTK, but maybe the Priest one does, stuff like that. So it looks good so far.
Yeah, I do actually like everything. I do like some combos, but there are some decent standalone cards or cards that might lead to combos later. Like the Druid hero that allows you to get to 20 mana. That in itself isn't necessarily a combo card, but could end up leading to some combos we never thought of down the road because we've never had 20 mana before. So it's just something we haven't thought of. And I think that might seem a little bit strong, 20 mana. And it's the cheapest here, so you only have to pay 5 to get it. But overall, I'm really excited about this. And I put out a couple of different polls, and most people are excited about this as well. In terms of just the hero cards in general, if I said, do you think this is a good or bad idea? Only 12% of people said that it was a bad idea, which is probably one of the most positive things from a poll that I've had in Hearthstone. If I'm like, do you like this or you not like this? Having the number be below 20% for like not liking it is probably one of the best numbers I've ever seen. And then in terms of do you guys like the expansion as a whole, this was several days ago before a lot of the cards were even announced. I think that people have been getting more excited. But 5 days ago, it was 27% didn't like it and 73% did like it. And then on Twitter, I did a very similar poll, and only 4% of people didn't like it. The other 96% are looking forward to this expansion and like it. So yeah, this looks like it's going to be their best expansion in a while, and I think it's just because they listened to their community, right? They were like, okay, people want a little bit of a slower meta, they want heroes to come back, and they want potentially some more board-based things, and that's basically exactly what they've given. And I want to hear your thoughts about what the community thinks, and then I have one other thing I want to talk about. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the community kind of agreeing that it's good? What do you think? Do you like that? Do you think that
I believe that there's a thing that's going on. Firstly, we've been talking about it for a long time, is that Hearthstone has been trying to move towards the board-based game. Like we've been saying it for like 3 expansions, and it didn't happen. A lot of the decks became like an OTK, right? And
that is true.
The way that the meta was. But we have been saying they've been going this direction and just haven't seen it happen. And it kind of occurred to me that these things take time, and you can't just evolve the meta overnight. It doesn't, like, just a new expansion doesn't just change it because the old cards exist. It like you have to work within those, and certain things can happen because balance is really hard to do. And I think you're right. They have listened to the community, and the just takes time. And I think that the hero cards are interesting because if you look at, like, from a marketing standpoint of view, like, they're every single game, and it's like I come from a poker background, right? And we used to do marketing for poker, and the average life cycle of a poker player, right, who would play, they would last about 6 to 9 months in the game, right? And Frozen Throne came from 2 years ago, so a lot of the players that were around on Frozen Throne aren't around today.
I think Frozen Throne was
the majority
a lot longer than 3 years or 2 years ago. I think it was like 4. Because it was when I was a freshman in college. And that was a long time
flies,
ago.
Man. Time flies. Yeah, maybe 2018, I think it came out. So that would be 3 years ago, I believe. And we could check on
August
that.
10th,
Let's just
2017. Knights of the Frozen Throne. It was
August
over
10th,
4 years ago, 4.5-ish years ago.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow, man. Oh yeah, time flies. It feels like yesterday. I thought I've been playing Hearthstone for 2 years. Now I just found out I've been playing for 4. But a lot of the players that are in Hearthstone are just not there that were around in Frozen Throne, and so it's really good times because that expansion for a lot of us, Ungoro and Frozen Throne, were the height of Hearthstone for us, and the new cycle is back, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it is cool. I just think about how long I've been playing Hearthstone after, like, saying it out loud blows my mind. Because I've played since the open beta, which was 2014, but I mostly played Arena and just, like, casually to get to, rank like 10 or something to get some decent rewards. Back when the rank system was different, it wasn't like bronze through diamond, it was literally just numbers and then legend. But yeah, that's so weird actually, now I'm thinking about it. I've played this game for so long and I've made content for it for so long.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, I really, wow, 4 years. Let's go. Yeah.
But overall, one other thing I want to talk about this expansion before I get into the one negative thing was I'm excited that they're finally printing, like, a dragon. I don't know if you know this, but the Brass Wing, the 8-mana 9/7 at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Honorable kill, restore 4 HP to your hero. I think that's either A, the first dragon in a year, or B, the first, like, dragon with a class. There might have been a neutral dragon that was released in this time, but it's like the first dragon in a long time. And I was reading about this on Twitter, because I didn't know that at first, but I was reading it because I was browsing through, like, people's thoughts on the new cards. And they're like, do you realize that this is, like, first dragon in forever? And I was like, wait, that's crazy, because I want to see more dragons. I want to see more dragons, and specifically warrior and paladin. Those are the 2 classes I want to see warrior dragons in, and they're finally here a little bit, so that's cool. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think there should be more dragons?
Well, Venga Dragon thinking there should be more dragons. I'll be honest with you, it's been bumming me out for a long time. The only dragon that we got in the last set was and if you wanted to even call it that, it was the card which was Lady Prester. Lady Prester is the card that Battlecry transforms all minions in your deck into random dragons. Mm-hmm. They keep their costs.
Oh yeah.
And stats, right? That card.
Yeah.
So that was the last one. And then before that, obviously there was dragons in the core set. Now, I have a little bit of bias here because my name is Venga Dragon. And the reason why I started playing Hearthstone is because I wanted to play with dragons. I love the dragon lore. I actually really embraced that theme. And yes, Brasswing is the one and only dragon that's been printed in the last year. So
yeah, I'm looking at all the expansions right now. Madness of the Dark Moon Fair had 4 dragons printed, and then after that there were none in Forged in the Barrens and none in United and Stormwind, which I guess means they didn't like fit flavor-wise, which makes sense. Like they just didn't fit in like the expansion. There just weren't dragons in the thing that they were basing it off of, but it's still kind of disappointing in the fact that they've released 1, and hopefully there'll be a couple more. I'm hoping that this isn't just the only one. This is one more reason why I really like this expansion. But I want to talk about the one negative thing, which is since the meta is slowing a little bit, or it looks like it will. Obviously, we don't exactly know what's going to happen with the meta. We've been wrong before. We'll be like, hey, this thing's going to be strong, and then it's not, or this thing's going to be weak, and then it's super strong. But based on where I think that it's going, if the meta becomes a little bit slower, I think that especially quests in general, but especially Quest Warlock, will be kind of problematic. And I asked somebody about this, or I made a poll about this on YouTube as well, because whenever I have a question or something I want to talk about on like our segment, I bring it up. And this actually got like over 2,000 votes, which actually is pretty good. Most of my polls have been getting more votes recently. Maybe it's just the new expansion, but it is nice in terms of like data collection. And about so 34% of people think that quests will still be extremely dominant in the game. 53% say that they will see a little bit less play but will still be a strong archetype. And only 13% of people think that quests will see significantly less play because of the new cards being released. And I think that's just because the meta, if you're focusing on hero cards that aren't like an insane linear win condition, like Quest Warrior will still see play. Because you're just going to play pirates, you'll get infinite value, you're fairly aggressive but have a couple of control aspects, and it's not like the new warrior hero, which is arguably one of the weaker ones, is going to replace the warrior quest. It's still going to be played. And same thing with like Quest Warlock. I think that a lot of the Warlock cards seem interesting, but are any of those actually going to be strong enough to beat like a guaranteed win condition on turn 11 or 12 with fatigue? And that's like if it's slow. I don't see these new cards being proactive enough or having enough counterplay for the quest to stop them. Maybe there's a card that they haven't released yet that'll be like, hey, if the opponent has a quest, like slow them down or reset their quest or move them back to a stage before the quest. I don't really know. But there's nothing.
You're getting like me now. You're getting like me now, where you're like trying to live the dream here.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen either. I'm just saying that like, unless something like that miraculously happens, I agree with the majority of the community saying quests, because like 87% of the community, or at least of the people that voted for me, which is like 2,000 people, think that quests will still be very dominant in the meta, And as much as I'm looking forward to this expansion, part of me is like, but what if quests still just dominate? What if all of these cards look super cool, but the quests, which I do not like, by the way, are just so strong that they still dominate, and we don't actually get to see how good this expansion really is?
Let me stop you right there and give you some input. Okay, Here's the deal. In the entertainment factor, if you want to play new cards and be entertained, and those cards are just fun to play and they don't win, then you'll be able to enjoy the meta as it will be. You'll enjoy it for playing new cards. You have the newness factor. You get some cool battle cries, some death rattle this, death rattle that, all this kind of Death Knight feel that you had from Frozen Throne. That's all going to be back. However, if you want to win and the quests are what are the highest win rate decks and they're part of it, then those will be played in that meta. The meta will be two different things. One that will be more competitive, where you'll be using the quests that because they give you the most benefit, and you'll play them. If you want to have fun and quests are not a part of that, meaning they're not fun for you and they're a lower win rate, then that will be the meta for you. It really depends on what side you're coming from. If the quests are the best cards and winning is the most fun for you, then that's what will be played. And so 87% of your community is concerned that people will be more into winning than being entertained. So there it is.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And still, part of me hopes that we're underestimating some of these cards, and Quest will just see less play in general. And it won't be a split. Like, you want to win, you'll play Quest. You want to have fun, you won't. Ideally, if you want to win and have fun, it's using a lot of the new cards. But I don't fully know that's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm just excited for this. We can talk about more stuff related to this expansion on your segment. I just wanted to talk about how excited I was and why. Because just to sum up, new hero cards have always loved hero cards. We finally got a dragon. Looks like it's pushing more control/board-based archetypes, and it reminds me of probably my favorite set of all time. So. Or favorite expansion of all time. So I'm excited. I really am. Every time I look at the new cards and I look at the cards in general, I just smile and I'm like, this is gonna be a great next 4 months. And I'm gonna have a blast making content. So
Get used to it, guys. Igor is back.